Red Bull X-Fighters, the Formula One of freestyle events. The international elite among the freestyle motocross riders compete in this series against each other. The world's best two-wheel acrobats thrill audiences with unbelievable stunts. Kickoff for this year's series was in Mexico. The capital city's historic bullfight arena was the fitting venue. 43,000 excited spectators gathered for an amazing show. The favorite was the young Swiss rider, Maitre Beau. He showed his rivals what they had to contend with. And he won. A few weeks later, the X-Fighter circus moved to Rio de Janeiro. The motto in the world-famous Sambadrome, Samba con Adrenalina. Here, 30,000 fans cheer on their heroes and applaud a surprise win by Jeremy Steinberg from California. The penultimate round of the series was staged in Germany, in the Oettelshofen quarry near Wuppertal. For weeks, 350 workers toiled to arrange 100,000 tons of earth and stone to create a highly demanding freestyle track for the contest. The local favorite, German freestyle star Basti Walter. The cheerful 31-year-old turned professional 5 years ago, but he still has his feet on the ground, in a manner of speaking. Standing still is, in this business, unknown. Freestyle motocross is the ultimate adventure on two wheels. With freestyle motocross, it's all about the challenges and the evolution of the stunts. In other words, you start with very simple tricks, then at some point someone did a backflip and then he thought, hey, I can do a seat grip during the backflip. There are two kinds of rider. Most of them watch the others, say to themselves, okay, that's how it works, I can do that too. And then there are a few riders who constantly set new standards by having totally new ideas. Hey, maybe I could try this or that. These are the ones I watch to see if they manage to do what they have in mind, and then as quickly as possible I try to learn the trick myself. As a professional, your job is to keep up with the best, to think how best to learn the new stuff. Professional equipment for professional riders. What kind of bikes are these on which the freestylers take flight? Yes, it's basically a normal 250cc bike, but for freestyle motocross it's been modified slightly. Very important is this super flip handle, for example, so that when I do the Superman backflip, I don't fall over the front. In other words, this is the support for my arm. I can lean on it. Yes, that's one of the most recent developments for FMX bikes, and for other tricks where the support is not needed, I can simply fold it back. Also important is the fact that we've cut back the saddle upholstery. On a normal motocross bike, it would be about 10 centimeters thick. But for our tricks, we often need to get a leg over to the other side, and so we don't want all that cushion in the way to get hung up on. That's why we cut it back. Then, very characteristic for FMX bikes are the grab holes you see here. They're simply sawed out or cut with a carpet knife out of the plastic. They're for the so-called seat grip tricks where you're not holding the handlebars but grabbing behind the frame. We've added some gaffer tape, and you can hold on with one or with both hands and have a steady grip. Basti gets ready for his training run, concentration at maximum as he puts on his protective suit. The training run is a kind of dress rehearsal for the riders. At first, the tricks are just routine for the 31-year-old. Then he tries a backflip and almost comes to grief, landing only in the very last second. Not a happy rider. The backflip is the single most dangerous stunt, but it's one a professional is expected to master. Basti gives it another go, and again almost goes dreadfully wrong. There's a real nervousness now. Actually, everything is going just fine. Only with the backflips I seem to be having my problems. I'm not sure what I should be doing different. And it bugs me a bit, because the backflip is an important element. One which the judges want to see. Don't know how I should be doing it differently. It makes you a bit worried about the whole thing, too. Take a deep breath and relax. It's in his head that Basti must find the solution to his problem with the backflip. Freestyle motocross demands mental stamina. Every day, every jump is high risk, and raw determination is rewarded. One used to the rewards is the Swiss ace, Matt Rebaud. And Basti knows full well how winners do it. To do a backflip, you start by doing a wheelie down the ramp. In other words, I ride up standing, get to the top, then I hit a crouch, and depending on the radius, and at the last minute, just before the front wheel leaves the ramp, I must push back, in this position roughly, in order to give the bike's back wheel the impulse, and at the same time I hit the throttle. For a normal jump, you give a touch of throttle on the ramp and then throttle back so as not to flip over on landing. But for the backflip, you accelerate over the edge of the ramp so that the back wheel falls away only at the very back. So I'm leaning way back, giving it throttle beyond the edge of the ramp, and then, when all goes well, the backflip is the easiest thing in the world. But if you've taken it the wrong way, it means you'll rotate too slowly. You can give the motor a bit more gas during the rotation, and then if you've overdone it at takeoff and you find yourself being pushed too far back, you can pull the clutch, hit the foot brake, and slow down the rotations a bit. But these are just minimal corrections, and when you've got your takeoff really wrong, there's no way you're going to get a clean backflip. Basti talks it over with his mechanics. The bike needs to have longer gearing in order to have more RPMs in reserve when in the air. That way Basti will have more influence while turning in the air, and the jump distance can be lengthened in order to land safely. The modification seems to make a difference, but not quite enough. Okay, we're getting closer to solving the problem, but my flips weren't so bad that I should really worry. At least there's one problem less. I should have the distance I need for the flip. Right, fine, but one problem remains. I think that for the flip, my timing is not what it should be. I'll have to give it some thought, and I hope that tomorrow I'll get it right. In spite of sometimes just having doubts, there are other considerations when it's time to take flight, as Basti admits. I'm no pilot, but I can imagine that we get close to the feeling of flying, close to the zero gravity the astronauts experience, and that's a real high. At this high level of competition, it's not just about absolving the most demanding tricks to perfection, it's about entertainment too. Here with the Red Bull X Fighters we have 5 judges, and one of them scores only on the basis of the entertainment value, the show, the reaction of the spectators. In all, it makes out about 20% of the overall result. At the Wuppertal event, the show judge is popular German film actor Jürgen Vogel, himself an enthusiastic motorbike rider. He has great respect for the freestylers. I saw some stuff yesterday when the guys were training, when they were practicing stunts. It really took my breath away. I was gasping for air. When the rider has the bike above him and he's doing flips in the air, then you think, this can't be happening. You have to be a bit mad to do stuff like that. The morning of the competition day, Basti heads for a ramp where he can work on his backflip, above all on getting the mental aspect right. The other guys have said that their flips were really easy, but I've got a weird feeling about my own. When I think about it, I get a queasy feeling in my stomach. That's the FMX game. Do I get over this feeling or not? Have I got the guts or not? I still really don't know. Showdown. The quarry in uproar. Now Basti must go for it. The 31-year-old has broken his mental block and completes a clean run. Basti always manages to get the spectators on his side, and the atmosphere is amazing. The judges give his show stunt their approval. Basti can leave some of his rivals behind and go on to the next round. But now he's up against Matt Rebaud, winner of many X-Fighters events. The Swiss is renowned for his daredevil backflips. Basti is outclassed, even if the spectators are totally on his side. Matt Rebaud at the peak of his form. The 26-year-old is the victor of the Wuppertal event, and his delight is obvious.
I'm very happy, you know, the crowd was very cool in Wuppertal, and it's pretty cool for me to win here. It's very close to Switzerland, and a lot of people from Switzerland come with some Swiss flag, and I was very happy to see some Swiss flag on the crowd. And you know, when you ride and it's you have a heaven like sold out like here, and everybody is applaud when you ride. It's all the time so cool, and you know, it's like on this moment I love my job. It's perfect.
Basti Walter achieved a respectable 6th place, and the backflip was no problem. I'm really pleased by what I achieved in the Uttelshofen quarry. For the first time in my X-Fighters career, I managed to reach the 2nd round. Of course, it was pretty clear that against Matt Rebaud my chances would be very slim, but I did manage to get one more point from the judges than he did for the show element. I'm happy about my overall performance and with the whole event. The spectators were incredible. Germany can be proud of this event. And who knows, perhaps Basti Walter can represent Germany on the Red Bull X-Fighters podium in the not too far distant future.